Taurus, you have spent so much time convincing yourself that you are fine, that everything is under control, that you can carry the weight without breaking. On the outside, you have managed to remain steady, reliable, and strong for others. But on the inside, the truth has been quietly eating at you. There is a heaviness in your chest that you no longer know how to ignore. A dull ache that turns into sharp pain when you are alone and the distractions of the day fade away. You have tried to silence it with routine, with responsibilities, with the stubborn hope that things will get better if you just hold on longer. But deep down, you know this is not true. What you are holding on to has stopped giving life to your spirit. Instead, it has been slowly draining it. You have carried this pain in silence because you thought admitting it would make you weak. As though acknowledging what hurts would somehow erase the strength that defines you. Yet the truth is, this pain has not been weakness at all. It has been a signal, a message from within, urging you to stop pretending. The mask you wear to show the world that everything is fine has become heavier than the pain itself. And you are exhausted from trying to keep it in place. The nights you lie awake with questions, the moments you swallow back tears before anyone notices, the times you tell yourself you can endure just a little longer, these are not signs of resilience anymore. They are signs of a heart caring more than it was ever meant to. You know, Taurus, that the reason this pain has grown sharper is because the situation or the person you've been clinging to is no longer aligned with who you are. What once may have given you comfort now only tightens around you like a chain. What once may have inspired you now feels like a burden, and you have been afraid to admit this, because admitting it would mean facing the possibility of an ending, of saying goodbye to something you thought you needed to survive. But the reality is that what you've been protecting is not protecting you in return. What you've been holding so tightly has been pressing down on your spirit, dimming your natural light, making you believe that settling for less is the same as being safe. This is where the truth begins to reveal itself. The pain you feel is not just sadness, it is your soul grieving the life you are not allowing yourself to live. It is the grief of staying in spaces where you no longer belong. It is the grief of giving to people who cannot give back in equal measure. It is the grief of trying to keep alive a version of yourself that no longer exists. And while you have been telling yourself that staying is strength, the deeper truth is that letting go will require a strength far greater than anything you have shown before. This is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of an awakening. And so, Taurus, this pain is not here to destroy you. It is here to lead you toward the moment you finally release what has been suffocating you. It is here to remind you that pretending can only last so long before the truth demands to be lived. As we move into the next part, you will begin to see that the goodbye you fear so much is not a threat to your survival. It is the very thing that will save your life. Taurus, there is a truth you have known in the quiet corners of your heart. A truth you have been pushing away because it feels too heavy to face. You know that there is someone or something you are meant to release, but you have been postponing it, convincing yourself that maybe if you wait longer, the situation will change. Maybe if you give more, the other person will finally see your worth. Maybe if you sacrifice enough, you will find peace in what has already been lost. You tell yourself that leaving would be too painful, too final, that it would feel like cutting away a part of your own body. And so you hold on, even when your grip is slipping, even when your soul whispers that this is not where you are meant to stay. The truth is that this goodbye has been following you for a long time. You see it in the quiet distance that has grown between you and someone you once trusted. You feel it in the exhaustion that wraps around you every time you try to resurrect what no longer breathes. You notice it in the way your laughter feels forced, in the way your hope feels thinner with each passing day. And still, you stay, because the familiar pain feels safer than the unknown. But Taurus, Holding on to what is already gone is not safety. It is slow destruction. You have built your life on loyalty, on staying when others walk away, on proving your devotion by refusing to let go. That loyalty is a beautiful part of you, but in this moment, it has become a chain. You are loyal to a shadow, devoted to something that cannot return to life. And every day you delay this goodbye is another day you lose a piece of yourself. You think that clinging tightly shows strength. But strength is not about how long you endure suffering. Strength is about knowing when to release what cannot be healed. This goodbye will hurt. Perhaps more than any pain you have felt before. It will feel like tearing your own heart in two, like stepping into a cold emptiness where once there was warmth, but the pain of holding on has already been tearing at you, only in silence, only in ways that keep you stuck instead of setting you free. The goodbye you've been avoiding is not meant to punish you. It is meant to liberate you. It is meant to clear the space where new life, new love, and new peace can take root. So ask yourself, Taurus, what are you clinging to that is no longer clinging back? Who are you sacrificing yourself for? When all they offer in return is absence, which version of yourself are you forcing into survival? When your true self is begging to breathe again? These are the questions that will guide you into what comes next. And what comes next is not collapse, it is rebirth. But before you can rise, you must allow this goodbye to fall from your hands. Taurus, one of your greatest gifts is your unwavering loyalty. You are the one who stays when others drift away. The one who builds slowly and carefully. The one who would rather endure hardship than abandon what you once committed to. That loyalty is beautiful. But it is also the very reason you have been caught in a trap. You keep telling yourself that staying is strength, that giving more will eventually repair what is broken, that if you just wait long enough, the effort will be worth it. But the truth is, what you are holding on to is not holding on to you. Your loyalty has turned into chains. And the more you pull, the tighter those chains become. You confuse persistence with wisdom. Taurus, you believe that because you've invested so much of yourself, you cannot walk away. As if letting go would erase the love, the energy, the years you've poured in. But holding on does not restore what's already gone. Instead, it keeps you bound to a ghost, to the memory of what once was, to a dream that has stopped nourishing you and started consuming you. Every day you choose to stay in the cycle, you are teaching yourself to accept less than you deserve, to silence your own needs, to believe that suffering is the price of love or stability. The hardest part is that you have mistaken fear for devotion. You are not staying because your soul is alive. Here you are staying because you are terrified of what will happen when you finally let go. You are afraid of the silence, the space, the unknown that will rush in the moment your hands open. But that fear disguises itself as strength, and it whispers lies that say, I cannot live without this. I cannot survive without them. I cannot walk away. Yet look closely. Have you really been living? Or merely enduring? Have you been breathing fully? Or gasping for air beneath the weight of what no longer feeds you? This is the trap. Taurus, holding on does not protect you. It drains you. It keeps you tied to a past that cannot be revived and blinds you to the possibilities waiting beyond your grief. You may think that letting go is defeat, but the truth is the opposite. The real defeat is losing yourself piece by piece just to keep something that was already slipping away. The real victory will be when you recognize that saying goodbye is not weakness, but the most powerful act of self-respect you can choose. And when you finally see this clearly, you will understand that the goodbye you've been resisting is not an ending, it is the threshold. Because what follows is not emptiness, but the birth of a new you, a Taurus who no longer survives on scraps of love or remnants of the past. but thrives in the fullness of their own truth. That is where we go next into the birth of your true self. Taurus, when the moment finally comes and you release what has been weighing you down, there will be pain so sharp it might take your breath away. It will feel like something inside you has been torn out, and you will question whether you made the right choice. Nights will come when the loneliness is so loud that you want to run back to what you left, even if it was breaking you. This is the first stage of your rebirth. Every ending feels like death at first, because in a way, it is the death of the version of you that believed survival was the same as love, that mistook sacrifice for loyalty, that accepted less because it was afraid to want more. But Taurus, underneath that grief is the beginning of your true self. Slowly, you will feel the difference in your body, in your breath, in the way your heart beats. The heaviness you carried for so long will begin to loosen, and in its place will come a quiet strength that does not depend on anyone else's approval. This strength is not loud or showy. It is steady, rooted, like the earth itself. It allows you to stand in who you are without apology, to choose what nourishes you instead of what drains you, to draw boundaries without guilt because you know your life is sacred ground. You will no longer need to chase love or prove your worth. The new Taurus that rises from this pain radiates something that cannot be ignored: authenticity. And authenticity is magnetic. The right people, the right opportunities, the right forms of love will be drawn to you naturally, not because you begged for them, not because you overextended yourself to earn them, but because you finally allowed yourself to simply be. This is the essence of your rebirth: shining without performance, giving without depletion, loving without losing yourself. Yes, there will be moments of doubt, but those doubts will fade as you begin to see what life looks like when it is no longer filtered through fear. The Taurus that emerges from this transformation is not a new person. You are not becoming someone else. You are simply returning to who you were always meant to be. You are remembering yourself, and that memory is powerful enough to carry you into a future that is freer, fuller, and far more aligned with the truth of your soul. This rebirth does not mean the journey is easy. It means the journey is real. And as you step into it, you will feel the shift from survival to living, from grasping to receiving, from pretending to being. That is the birth of your true self. And from here, Taurus, the story turns to its final truth, the closing message of why this painful process was never destruction, but salvation. Taurus, you have walked through pain that seemed unbearable, carried weight that bent your back, and faced nights that felt endless. But here, at this closing chapter, I want you to understand something essential. The goodbye you feared most was never meant to ruin you. It was meant to return you to yourself. The ache of letting go was not punishment, but preparation. The tears you shed were not signs of weakness, but the cleansing that made space for something new. What you thought was the end has been the threshold all along. The life that opens before you now will not look like the one you left behind. It will be quieter, steadier, but also infinitely more honest. You will no longer waste energy proving yourself to people who cannot see you, or chasing situations that cannot sustain you. Instead, you will stand firmly in who you are, knowing that your worth has never been tied to someone else's recognition. You will feel lighter, not because life has become easier, but because you no longer carry what does not belong to you. This is what freedom feels like. Taurus, not the absence of responsibility, but the presence of alignment. Yes, there will be moments when the past calls to you, when old habits or memories try to draw you back. In those moments, remember the truth. You did not lose anything by saying goodbye. You gained everything. You gained your peace. You gained your clarity. You gain the ability to choose yourself without apology. That is the true gift hidden inside the pain, the power to live a life that is not borrowed, not compromised, but authentically your own. So as you close this chapter, let your heart know this. You are not walking away in defeat. You are walking forward in victory. The goodbye you made was the bravest act of self-love you have ever chosen. And though the pain of it still lingers, the relief, the freedom, and the love that follows will stay with you forever. Taurus, your story does not end in loss. It begins here, in rebirth. And from this moment on, every step you take will be built on the unshakable truth that you were never forgotten, never abandoned, never unworthy. You have always been enough. And now, at last, you are free to live like it.